Welcome to this episode of Say It with Scott, where we look at how the words we use affect the lives we live. I'm Scott Sery. I'm a copywriter, and I'm a lover of how we can take one or two words in a sentence and tweak them just a little bit to dramatically change the entire message that we're sending. This episode is brought to you by Strategic Advisor Board and by my company, Sery Content Development. Today we're going to look at the 4 C's. These can be in copywriting mostly because that's how I employ them, but they're in any sort of marketing that you do. This is not the 4 C's that's the old Chinese restaurant that used to be in Billings. It has nothing to do with water. Instead, it's the 4 C's as in the letter C. Those 4 C's are clear, concise, compelling, and credible. When we take a look at each one of those and we consider those as we're creating content and as we're writing copy, our copy tends to be a whole lot smoother, much better at converting, and it doesn't get bogged down and lost somewhere. You'll see as we go through each of these real quick. So clear is the first one. It's been said that if you can't explain what you do in a way that a 10-year-old can understand it, then you really don't understand what you do. Everything, every message that you send, it needs to be so clear that a child can understand it and they can make a decision after they have read or listened to or consumed the information that you're putting out there. So if you're writing something and it's filled with jargon, unless you're writing to a colleague that really knows what you're doing already, you need to make it a whole lot clearer so that people can understand it. The first C is clear. The second C is concise. I could make this video an hour long and talk about the 4 C's and how we employ them and give you all sorts of examples. But most people don't have the capacity to sit and consume that information for that long. They get bored. So the more concise you can make your message and still deliver everything, the better it's going to be and the more impact that it'll have when all is said and done. Clear, concise, compelling. I can write and talk and make things really clear and make things really concise, but if there's no urgency and there's no compelling reason to hire me or to pursue the thing that I'm talking about, what's the point? Everything you do, you have an end goal. You want to compel that reader, compel that listener to make a decision. Ideally, it's a decision to sign up and purchase a service or product from you. But you need to compel them in that direction so that they actually make the choice that you want them to make. Clear, concise, compelling, and credible. There's a lot of different ways to establish credibility. One is through testimonials and just getting a bunch of people raving about your product or service. Another one is to get a degree. If you see something written by somebody with PhD after their name, it's got a lot more weight to it than you see something just written by somebody that Googled a bunch of information on the topic. When you establish that credibility, and you can do this even if you don't have that PhD, even if you don't have those testimonials, there's a lot of different ways, and we'll go into some of those as further videos come along. But there's a lot of ways to establish that credibility so that people look at it and they're like, this dude knows what he's talking about. I am compelled to sign up for his service because it was very clear what it was all about. And then concise is in there too because we got to keep it short, otherwise we lose interest. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Say It with Scott. I hope that you found something inspirational and educational that you can take back and apply to your business. As usual, if you need some help with this, you don't want to do it yourself and you want to hire Scott to do it, hit the links in the description below. Reach out, we'll be in touch, and we'll make sure your copy and your message is clear, concise, compelling, and credible. As usual, please like, comment, and subscribe so that whenever Strategic Advisor Board posts some amazing content, you get a notification of it.